There's a problem I've encountered more than once. Files named with the photo's caption. Not only cumbersome to work with, the long file names make trouble for file servers. There are multiple steps to fix this problem. This video covers the first step, using the Photoshop script file name to description. I'll demonstrate the script in Windows. It works the same on Mac OS. Here's a book layout in InDesign. This isn't a real job, but it's based on one, only I've swapped out the photos and text. It looks normal until we open the links panel. Someone thought it would help to use the file names for the captions. I had a job like this not long ago. There were file names nearly 200 characters. Once copied to the server and down a few subfolders, the paths exceeded the limit. It was a mess to fix, and the reason I wrote this script, along with some others. This example job isn't quite as bad, but it still needs the names trimmed. But I need the captions, which are lost when the files are renamed. So that's the first step and the subject of this video. We'll start in Bridge with the folder of images open. A good place for captions is the metadata field, Description. For these images, the field is blank. In Photoshop, I'll use the script to get the captions into the metadata. To run the script, open the Actions panel. In the list, select the script, file name to description. Click the Actions panel Play button. The interface has 4 sections: Images, Options, Regex Replace, and Settings to save and reuse the values currently set. To get started, click the Folder button and select the folder of images. Remove Number Prefix finds names that begin with numbers. My example images all have these. This is usually directions for the designer, indicating which chapter to place the photo. If that's the case, we don't need it in the caption. But your situation might be different. Maybe the numbers identify figures and are needed in the captions. In that case, disable the option. Append closing period adds a period to the end, which is usually missing because the script doesn't include the file extension or the period before it. Append to current metadata adds to any existing description instead of replacing it. These files have no description, so we don't need that. Regex is short for regular expression. You may know this as grep from using InDesign, or you might know all about regular expressions. If so, it should make sense. If not, don't worry about it or use it. The script works either way. You may enter up to 3 patterns to replace and their regex switches. Each is performed on the file name, then the next on the last result. Currently, I have an expression to ignore text in parentheses. It's not always true, but often this is more instructions to the designer, like, use this full page, that sort of thing. Here's one. And another. Actually, I want to remove this and more, so I'll replace the entire expression. Besides the number prefix, these images also include the original file name. For this demonstration, I downloaded images from Unsplash.com, then added number prefixes before the name and example captions after. Your images could be different. Maybe they don't have prefixes, and the entire name could be the caption. So the next part might not apply to your situation. For this example, all I want for caption is the text after the original file name. I'll enter the regex dot plus unsplash and a space and replace it with nothing, the same as removing it. This ignores everything up to the space after unsplash. To get it done, click OK. The script goes through the files and writes each description. When finished, it tells us how many. Now let's see the result in Bridge. The description fields have been written, and without the extra I didn't want, just the caption. But the files still have long names. The script doesn't touch those. If the images haven't been placed in a layout yet, we can rename the files. I use Better File Rename. On Mac OS, it's known as a Better Finder Rename. See links in the description for both. A regular expression works, but the opposite of getting the caption. This pattern keeps everything after the first space, up to unsplash, and ignores the rest. Dot, plus, space, parenthesis, dot, plus, unsplash, parenthesis, dot, plus, and replace it with $1. This replaces the entire name with the first capture, which is the match inside the parentheses. Now the names are a reasonable length. But if the images are placed in a layout already, then we have more work. In the upcoming Part 2 video, I'll show how to fix images already placed in InDesign. Once the video is done, I'll add a link in the description. If this solution works for you, like the video and subscribe to this channel. It keeps more videos coming.